So today we're going to talk about a big change that is coming actually to Premiere, and it's these. So this is for the next season of Premiere, and this is some pretty big stuff. So let's go through it one by one and talk about, the importance of it. And perhaps the most important one is the first point here, Premiere practice. Teams can now practice matches on select non-match days. These matches follow Premiere match structure, but will not affect your Premiere score. So essentially, this is just scrimming. You can now just scrim against other teams with your Premier team, and that is a massive, massive deal, I think. In fact, I would argue, and having played a lot of custom 10-mans in my Discord server, join the Discord server, join Throw City, come and play some custom 10-mans with people in the DMV Discord server. They're a lot of fun. Having done that, I would say that that is a much more enjoyable way of playing Valorant than ranked. And I feel like if you do have a Premier team, if you are part of a Premier team, that this will probably end up being a much more enjoyable way of playing Valorant than ranked. And I know that some people care about their rank and whatever, but if you are someone who isn't that bothered, like myself, I'd probably prefer to play this, where it's maybe a bit more serious, but there's not really like, huge stakes on the line. There's nothing really on the line, but, people will try still, and it just seems like it will just be a lot of fun to play anyway, right? There's kind of nothing to lose, but people still take it seriously. Like, that's kind of like a perfect world, in my opinion. So that's going to be really, really cool. And it's really cool that you can just, queue up for scrims, essentially, with your Premier team. I think that will just be an absolute massive, massive win. The next part is the enrollment update. Team enrollment now runs for 1.5 days. Teams created during or before this period will be able to recruit members and participate in Premiere at any point in the stage. So sometimes it could get a little wonky, if people weren't there for the kind of enrollment period. This just seems like, just loosening this up a bit, potentially making it just a bit easier for people maybe to, enroll, because I know that me and my friends did have some problems with this once where, like one person missed the deadline or whatever, and then, you then can't join. Unlucky, I guess. No Premiere for you for, the next however many weeks. So, yeah. Makes sense. Good change. Okay, next one, something that a lot of people have been asking for, and that is timeouts. Every match, teams will have one timeout per side and an additional timeout in overtime. Now, they could have used better wording here, because the word side is perhaps the worst word you could have used for this instance. Does per side mean each team gets one timeout? Or does per side mean each half you get one timeout? So do you have 1 or 2 timeouts? I don't know, because it's ambiguous, because you use the word which is ambiguous in this context. So could have used a better word for that, but anyway, timeouts are in the game. This is obviously something that a lot of people have asked for Premiere as well. And again, I just feel like it'll just, when you're doing like map vetoes and stuff, any of you that have done it will know, like, it just feels more like special and more official. Oh, we're doing a map veto, it feels official. This, I think, will just add to that kind of like spice as well, of like, oh, it feels more official because we can use a timeout. Let's take a timeout, and you feel like, a VCT team. So I'm glad that, they're adding timeouts. I think it just adds to the experience, and I think it's just a good addition. Next up is playoff seeding. Teams with higher Premier scores will now have more favorable seeding in the playoff tournament. Obviously not quite sure on the exact details of that, but, sure, whatever. There's also a playoff queue. There will now be a seeding period of 15 minutes for better matchmaking. Teams must lock in and stay queued for this window. So I heard some rumors, or, some complaints from some people that during the playoff tournament or whatever, like, they couldn't find a game in certain areas and whatever, and it was kind of like they made the playoffs but didn't get to play in the playoffs. They kind of missed the window somehow. So maybe this is just ways of trying to, fix that kind of thing from happening. And then Premier crests, finally. Crests will now reflect your team's performance and evolve over the entire stage. So I'm guessing if you do better, if you keep winning or whatever, as you can see here, the thing in the middle maybe, you'll get to show off that we're a really good team. Fear us. Right? Or if you don't do well, I don't know. I hope it maybe gives you a little loser, like, scared one, maybe. That would be funny. I doubt they'll do that, but, Premier crests, yeah, sure. This is cool. Nice. I hope that they kind of add in more to this. I'm kind of hoping that, as we go forward with Premiere, there's kind of more and more stuff. It would be really cool if an exclusive skin ever came out for Premiere, like, its numbers would go way, way up. Everyone would be playing Premiere. So if they ever do want everyone to play Premiere, then that would be the way of doing it. But yeah, all these changes, pretty good. And I think particularly the scrim one, the practice for Premiere, that is really a massive, massive, massive win. Okay, that is a big, big win. And as I said, I think that that would probably be the way I would like to play Valorant. And I'm not joking, like, that is the way I would prefer to play this game than ranked. And I probably think quite a few of you would probably agree, you know, playing a game with, like, your friends in, like, a competitive way, but, you know, if you lose, it's not the end of the world. That sounds like something I would enjoy a lot. So I think this is going to be a massive, massive win. And yeah, I guess I'm just going to be playing Premier Practice the whole time and never touching the cesspit that is ranked ever again.